targeting, which we're going to talk about. This is pretty cool. This is going to actually allow you to follow up with a lead without having any of their contact information. That's pretty wild, right? So you don't even have to have their contact info and you can follow up. That sounds crazy, and it almost sounds like an oxymoron, right? How can you follow up with somebody that you don't have their contact info? You're going to see that. They don't even have to visit one of your sites, and you can follow up with them, right? I know that sounds impossible, and we're going to talk about those leads in terms of volume, too. There's over 203 million of them in over 10,000 niches or categories. So the point of this is it's going to work no matter what you're promoting. That's kind of the idea. So we're going to break down this part one where we're going to introduce the method. I'm going to give you kind of an explanation of how it's done, what we call the old way. It's still new. It's still a new method, but we're already ahead of that. You guys know we always stay ahead of the curve. So we're going to talk about kind of what we call the old way and some specific case studies and results of this old way when it's implemented. But then we're going to expose kind of two issues with it. And this is what happened with us, right? We were using this method. It was working pretty well, but we noticed right away there was two really big problems. And so we went to work to try to solve those two problems. So that's where John's going to come on. He's going to introduce the new method. He's going to show how we're doing it the new way and how we've solved those two problems that we ran up against and really started to just hit a grand slam. And then the last piece when I come back on, we'll look at some specific case studies so you guys can see breakdowns of what's actually working here so you can implement it for yourself. And then, of course, we're going to show those 4 different ways to make money. And we've even got some stuff which we might hear from at the end with this and what they're doing. So speaking of success, we always have to do this, guys. It's our earnings disclaimer. Just because you're on this webinar listening or you buy a product or whatever, that money is just going to magically appear in your account. So no promise or guarantee you're going to make a ton of money just because you implemented what we showed. But that being said, we don't know everybody's backgrounds and expertise and all that. And, of course, that's part of the reason we can't guarantee you're going to make money. But there's actually no special skills required with this. Beginners through very advanced. We're going to see some beginners and advanced that did this. Any product, like I said earlier, I don't care if you're an affiliate or your own products or local businesses, it's going to work anywhere in the world. Okay, so kind of set your mind at ease. That's the first thing. But traffic. Okay, traffic is the number one thing. I don't care. You can have the best converting website in the world, the best funnel in the world, the best affiliate offer, the best product, the best everything can be great. If you got no traffic, you got no money. You got no sales. And I know a lot of you guys, that's why you follow everything Greg does, is because Greg's a traffic expert, right? So solves the biggest problem that any online business has if you can get a bunch of traffic. But here's the problem. It can't just be traffic. You guys will know this. It's got to actually be targeted traffic because you can send hundreds of thousands of people to your website. Let's say you got a golf website. You can send hundreds of thousands of people to your golf website that are interested in cars. You're probably not going to make that many sales, right? So if you send hundreds of thousands of people that are interested in golf to your golf website, game on, right? So it has to be targeted traffic. Let's take it a step further, though. It's got to be cheap and targeted traffic. And I don't mean cheap in terms of quality. I mean cheap in terms of pricing, right? And when I say cheap, I really mean it's got to be profitable for you. That's the bottom line. You could have really targeted traffic, but if you're spending more than you're making, then that's a waste of time, right? So you have to have traffic, it's got to be targeted, and it's got to be profitable. So cheap and targeted traffic, and that's what we're going to talk about. We can take that a step further and kind of as a result of that cheap and targeted traffic, one other thing you want to really do while